Today, we are reacting to Elon Musk on the Joe Rogan podcast, how he thinks America is unfixable, which is laughable, but we'll get into that later.
One of the things you said when we stepped away is that you're kind of done and that it's unfixable. That, or under its current form, the way people are approaching it.
You can make it directionally better, but ultimately you can't fully fix the system. I it would be accurate to say that even unless you could go like super draconian, like Genghis Khan level on cutting waste and fraud, which you can't really do in a democratic country. An aspirationally democratic country, then there's no way to solve the debt crisis. So we got national debt that's just insane, where the interest payments on the debt exceed our entire military budget. I mean, that was one of the wake up calls for me. I was like, wait a second, the interest on a national debt is bigger than the entire military budget, and growing. This is crazy.
What's crazy is we have a corporate welfare billionaire thinks it's unfixable. These corporate welfare kings like him helped break it. He got rich off of getting tax dollars. And now he has the nerve to come on a podcast and talk about how it's unfixable because he couldn't accomplish something. It's crazy, the ego on this guy.
So even if you implement all these savings, you're only delaying the day of reckoning for when America goes bankrupt. So, unless you go full Genghis Khan, which you can't really do. So, so I came to the conclusion that the only way to get us out of the debt crisis and to prevent America from going bankrupt is AI and robotics. So, like, we need to grow the economy at a rate that allows us to pay off our debt. I guess people just generally don't appreciate the degree to which the government overspending is a problem. But even like the Social Security website, this is under the Biden administration. On the website, it would say like we based on current demographic trends, and how much money Social Security is bringing in versus how many Social Security recipients there are, because we have an aging population. Relatively speaking, the average age is increasing. Social Security will not be able to maintain its full payments, I think, by 2032.
Man, this guy is goofy. He frames it that the debt and Social Security problems is like it was a disaster that just popped out of nowhere. Poof, out of the sky. But he ignores who is responsible for decades of tax cuts for the rich, for the corporate loopholes, the Republican policies that prioritize billionaires like him over ordinary people. Even to this day, his best friend, the orange man, is cutting everything for the working class, for regular people, and giving more money to the rich. And now he comes up here with all this fear-monger stuff, acting like he's not part of it. Get the hell out of here. And he just deflects, and Meathead over there just lets him speak like he's some kind of damn genius. He's a bonehead. He didn't get rich because he's smart. He got rich because he got welfare, your tax dollars.
Yeah, so Social Security will have to start reducing the amount of money that's been paid to people in about 7 years.
And so the only way to fix that, robotics, manufacturing, raise GDP.
You've got to basically massively increase the economic output, and the only way to do that is AI and robotics. So basically, we're going bankrupt without AI and robotics, even with a bunch of savings. The savings, like reducing waste and fraud, can give us a longer runway, but it cannot ultimately pay off our national debt.
So what do you think the solution is to the jobs that are going to be lost because of AI and robotics, the jobs due to automation, the jobs due to no longer do we need human beings to do these jobs because AI is doing them? Do you think it's going to be some sort of a universal basic income thing? Do you think there's going to be some other kind of solution that has to be implemented? Because a lot of people are going to be out of work, right?
I think there will be actually a high demand for jobs, but not necessarily the same jobs. So, I mean, this is actually, this process has been happening throughout modern history. I mean, there used to be, like doing calculations manually with like a pencil and paper. It used to be a job. So they used to have like buildings full of people, cold computers, where the banks would like, all you do all day is you do calculations because they didn't have computers. They didn't have digital computers that people
Abacus.
do. Yeah, well, it was just people would just like add and subtract stuff on a piece of paper, and that would be how banks would do, financial processing.
And you'd have to literally go over their equations to make sure the books are balanced.
Yeah, and most times it's just simple math. Like, like in a world before computers, how did you calculate? How did you do transactions? You had to do them by hand.
See, this is a typical rich person who is out of touch with the common man, trying to normalize job loss from automation as just history repeating itself. But he misses the bigger picture. Yes, people used to do calculations by hand and technology replaced that, but those were mostly office jobs and society adjusted to it gradually. What he is ignoring is the scale. AI today can replace not just clerical jobs, but creative work, management, high-paying skilled labor, all at once. And instead of talking about fair policy, safety nets, or restraining programs, he frames it like it's natural. When have rich people ever cared about the workers? Back in the 70s, they went overseas to get cheap labor. This destroyed many Midwest cities. They've never gave a damn about the American worker. And he's not even American, so he doesn't care.
So then when computers were introduced, the job of doing, bank calculations no longer existed. So people had to go do something else. And that's what's going to happen. That's what is happening at an accelerated rate due to AI and then robotics.
That's the issue, though, right? The accelerated rate, because it's going to be.
It's the accelerated. It's just happening. Like I said, like AI is the supersonic tsunami. So that's what I call it, supersonic tsunami. So
it's like, what other jobs will be available that aren't available now because of AI?
Well, AI is really still digital. Ultimately, AI can improve the productivity of humans who build things with their hands or do things with their hands, like literally welding, electrical work, plumbing, anything that's physically moving atoms. Like cooking food or farming or like anything that's physical, those jobs will exist for a much longer time. But anything that is digital, which is like just someone at a computer doing something, AI is going to take over those jobs like lightning.
Coding, anything along those lines, yeah.
It's going to take over those jobs like lightning. Just like digital computers took over the job of people doing manual calculations, but much faster.
So what happens to all those people? Like, what kind of numbers are we talking about? Like, you're going to lose most drivers, right? Commercial drivers. You're going to have automated vehicles, AI-controlled systems. Just like there's certain ports in China, I think in Singapore, where everything's completely automated.
Yeah, mostly. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're going to lose a lot of those jobs, longshoreman jobs, trucking, commercial drivers.
But yeah, like cars are going to be autonomous. But there's just so many desk jobs where really what people are doing is they're processing email, or they're answering the phone. and just anything that isn't moving atoms, like anything that is not physically, like doing physical work, that will obviously be the first thing. Those jobs will be and are being eliminated by AI at a very rapid pace. And ultimately, working will be optional because you'll have robots plus AI, and we'll have, in a benign scenario, universal high income, not just universal basic income, universal high income, meaning anyone can have any products or services that they want.
See, this is the trick rich people have been running forever. Distract you from the real issues. Man, there are people right now who can't eat, can't find food, sleeping outside in the cold. And all you have to talk about is AI. Why don't you use some of those billions to help Americans who help you become one? He completely ignores what his buddy is doing in the office right now, making himself rich, other people rich, and destroying America. That's why things are unfixable, because politicians like him and rich people like Musk keep making it a mess. But he does show you one thing, why America is great, because only in America you do not have to be smart to become rich. And they are both proof of that.